The most successful, I feel like, leaders or entrepreneurs or business owners, and even with myself, is I feel like people that have such a various amount of emotion are the most successful.
So I feel like you were literally right ahead of the game.
Like I was one of the first Ivy places in New Jersey in 2018. I didn't want to move in with my parents. I didn't want to. I was scared of not having any money.
Yeah.
And it's hard when people start things without money.
Yeah.
It's not like I got an investor and had the flexibility of doing things that I feel like really snowball and help businesses start becoming big right away.
Please help me welcome Rebecca LaMarca to the Thrive podcast. Rebecca is the CEO and founder of Ivy Elements. She is a functional nurse practitioner with a passion for helping others heal from within. Since starting her company in 2018, Rebecca has been able to expand and scale her company to now 3 locations in New Jersey, while continuing to empower patients to take control of their health and get to the root cause of their diagnosis through lifestyle changes, nutrition, and adding alternative IV therapies. She has traveled on multiple occasions to Switzerland and Germany to further enhance her education and training to help her cancer patients through mistletoe therapy, high-dose vitamin C, and ozone therapy. I met Rebecca about a year ago when I decided to follow my heart and join a medical team where holistic health was the standard. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for being on the show with us today. Okay, are you ready, Rebecca? Oh, welcome to the Thrive podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course.
I was so happy that you wanted me to come on.
Yeah. Honestly, this has been a really big project, like coming for a few years now. So I'm happy that it's finally coming into fruition. And honestly, you were one of the first people that I was like, you know what? I really wanted to interview business owners. And I really wanted to get into your head a little bit and really people to really get to know you a little bit more, because I feel like, yes, they see the success, they see the businesses, they see Ivy Elements as a whole, but I feel like the best thing is like when people really get to know the entrepreneur, the person at heart, and like where their beginnings were. And I feel like that's what people really relate to. So I'm really excited to kind of give that piece of you to other people. And
I can't wait also. I feel like I haven't had too many people ask me questions in regards to the business as well. So before I came on, I was just wondering like, wow, like I guess I'm going to be talking about it in more the nitty gritty and raw emotion and
for sure.
The times in the beginning, which I feel like are a little fuzzy because it was before COVID. So
that's so true, right? And I feel like the journey of an entrepreneur can be super lonely too. So I feel like this is it's been like what, 5 or 6 years now that you've had Ivy Elements and started.
6 years.
So like for you,
that's why I'm so happy you asked.
Yeah. So I feel like for you to kind of like go back 6 years and like rewind 6 years from today, and it's like probably like a nice I guess reflection for you to kind of be like, wow, I can't believe I've gone through all of that and I'm still here.
It did give me a little energy and motivation when you did ask me. Like I said,
just
thinking of the beginning, like put a little pep in my step too, because like you said, it is lonely and it's monotonous too. And there's so many ups and downs, and sometimes you forget like why you did it. Yeah. But you have to constantly reflect those moments.
For sure. And I feel like it's also important when people like give you hand you your flowers, you know, because again, it can be really lonely and it can just feel like it's my vision. Like, does anyone else kind of like see all the hard work I'm putting into it? So I feel like I hope that you feel that. So
well, the hardest part is with my employees and the people that I surround myself with, which is you and everyone else. I put my heart and soul into making sure everyone's happy. And sometimes people don't see that. So I think that's why I was so like teary-eyed when you asked.
This is an opportunity for you to really share that part
and express myself.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us a little bit about the beginning. Like, how did Ivy Elements start in the first place? What made you pretty much start it? Like, what was life like also during that time for you?
Okay, I would love to go kind of to the even more beginning of the type of person I am.
For sure.
So I think just compassion and giving are 2 really strong things since I was little. I was a Girl Scout. I received my Gold Award, which is, I think, like the same as getting an Eagle Scout award for a Boy Scout. So I loved volunteering. My family was really big into volunteering. I was an athlete. Obviously, I as you know, I played Division I softball at Villanova. So I already had like the consistency, waking up early, the
discipline.
grind, the discipline. But I also did have like a very nurturing heart. I also was very creative. I was in band, marching band, jazz band, concert band.
I love that. I can totally see that.
Yeah, I was a little bit of a nerd and an athlete growing up. But
I love that. A little bit of both. Yeah. I love that.
But something that I feel that resembles in the brand most is the compassion and like the love. I definitely feel that too. So I just wanted people to know what type of person I am before even starting the business.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Maybe understanding the type of person you are does have to reflect into your business.
100%.
Fast forward. So I made the LLC Drip Lounge when I was at the Cancer Institute of New Jersey. I was working as a neurosurgery nurse practitioner. I led the tumor board for glioblastoma and metastasis of cancers to the brain. We did Gamma Knife. And I learned so much about cancer, all different types. I rotated to other departments or specialties as well. And I just loved leading, I guess, the tumor board. I also was a leader in softball.
I love that.
I was a preceptor as a nurse. So I just
mentor, leadership.
Right.
All great qualities for an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And I played a lot of softball in California and always gravitated to follow companies in California, not thinking I would ever be there in the future, but I just love the atmosphere and feeling when you go there.
Me too. I love California.
Yeah.
So and
in New Jersey, it's like a little bit of a ray of sunshine when it's dark, especially cold winters. But I was following some, I guess, IV vitamin therapy companies then, since a lot of my cancer patients went out to California and Tijuana and obviously all over the world to receive alternative cancer care. And it always fascinated me at the time when I took care of my cancer patients. So I followed some of these things and I was like, this looks cool. Maybe I'll make an LLC. But I was still loving neurosurgery. I didn't quite think at that time I wanted to have a business. I just thought it was cool and intriguing. At the time, where I worked, there was a hospital merge, and they were pushing out nurse practitioners and PAs and having residents rotate. So my world was kind of crumbling. I thought I really loved what I did. And I feel like you keep going through the motions when you really love something. It was at that point that I was losing a job I really loved because they were pushing us out. And I was like, I have to figure out, I guess, what I do. Like, I like surgery.
I can totally see you. Honestly, when you like said neurosurgeon, I can actually see you doing that.
Right.
You're so like nitty gritty and just like, you're a big brain person, I feel like a mindset
I am
person.
very technical.
You're very technical.
My parents are engineers. My brother's an engineer.
I can totally see that.
So growing up in an engineering, very science family does reflect also with my personality. But I wouldn't have thought of having a business being still at the Cancer Institute. So I loved surgery. I thought maybe I could do orthopedic surgery since I played softball. I can change it up a little. At the time, I just went to a job that was looking to hire. So I worked with a orthopedic surgeon, and we did surgery, total joints, ACL repair, rotator cuff. I loved sewing people up myself.
I can totally see that.
And that technical aspect of my personality.
Yeah, you're very technical.
But I was with a Bill Lumberg from Office Space, a horrible boss. He just was the worst. And I think
will do it for you.
I think just being pushed down consistently, like being at surgery centers at 5 a.m., going to the hospital right after for more surgery, him leaving the office, me still being in office hours, 3 hours, only getting paid for 40 hours a week, working 70 to 80. Him just talking to me horribly. I've always been a team player, and for someone to not be a team player and push me down, who was really an equal at the time, since I was helping him in so many ways with the surgery. It was so different than working at the Cancer Institute and working with the neurosurgeons there, that I feel like I started expressing it to my friends. And my one friend, Chris, he was like, well, you talked about this IV vitamin therapy thing, and I hate corporate. He did sales in the city. He's like, let's start a business together.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I feel like my friend really is the one that pushed me to really make my dream come true.
That's amazing. We need friends like that.
Right.
We need friends like that, honestly.
I love that I'm even saying his name on this podcast because
he definitely needs a shout out.
Yeah. he pushed me at the time. And I think it's so important to have people around you, especially we're going to talk about holistic health.
For sure.
Right? Positive energy.
Yeah.
People that mirror you and reflect you. And this person is like me, very determined and team oriented and just positive. So he was like, let's do this. You hate where you are. I never see you. So after a few really horrible situations with this Bill Lumberg orthopedic surgeon, I decided to start IV Elements. And at the time, I put in my resignation. I wasn't working for a few weeks. And I was like, what? I can't be Drip Lounge. That sounds so generic. I just made the name Drip Lounge as an LLC. So we started putting papers into the state, zoning, permits. We had no idea where we wanted to be, what we were really doing. He did help me a lot with the zoning permits, being like, hey, you need to set up a QuickBooks. So he did a lot of the beginning stuff, and I had to think of this name.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what's catchy? And I was like, you know what? If it's going to be something me, I have to think about things I love. So I wrote down things I loved. And I love action movies. I love movies. So I was like, what is some things that really inspires me to do this company for cancer patients and really reflects alternative medicine? And when I saw The Fifth Element again, which I do see often.
All of our clients also, a lot of our clients also like
the stones.
Yes, the stones.
Right.
They point that out. So yeah. So good job with that.
Yes. Well, I everything has to be so personal and have a storyline. I think that's important for a brand
especially for like longevity.
Right.
I feel like it's so important, personal branding for me is so important. So like when you feel very aligned, and I love that you took your time and you're just like, what is, like you ask those questions for yourself. Like what is important to me? Like what do I love? Just because you want your business and whatever you are going to be putting so much of your heart and energy to and your time to really reflect on who you are as a person, for sure.
Right. We're going to talk about that later, but not listening or seeing that something's common for someone else and it looks cool. You have to do what really reflects you and be your own person. And I've always been someone that stands behind that. I love people who can be themselves.
For sure.
I obviously was thinking wind, earth, fire, and water are the four elements of life. And I was thinking, okay, so that would be great because 4 Roman numerals is IV and then elements. And I'm Lilu. I'm like the human being that defeats great evil. And I am the life of the universe. So in the ending of the movie, the 4 symbols, the stones, go towards her and she kills.
So cool.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Basically something coming towards Earth that's going to kill everyone and she destroys it. So I love knowing that I'm the Lilu of IV Elements as well. And will forever be the Lilu.
I love that.
But it's like there is a whole story, which I would love if I had maybe a better videographer or someone that can create these videos encompassing.
We might have someone in store.
But yeah, there's a whole story behind IV Elements and a feeling. So
I love that.
The minute I thought it, we trademarked it and we moved forward with it. Unfortunately, in business, it's hard to go into business with friends, but Chris ended up leaving shortly after us doing it. And at that time, like you said, business is lonely. I didn't quite understand like how lonely it could be because I had to decide at that moment, did I really want to do this business thing? Because in the beginning, we decided to do it together.
I feel like you were kind of a little bit like pushed into it, like kind of like inspired to do it. So like if someone leaves, it's kind of like, oh shoot, now what? I
know. I had
it's
to take
a decision you had to make
to really think, is this something I want to do? And I'm not one to give up.
Yeah.
So I think that's just my personality. And at that time, I didn't know how much it would have changed my life and was good for me and it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So I reflected that a lot along the way, but that's kind of how it all started. That's how Ivy Elements name came out. That's how it started.
That's amazing.
It obviously was a lot in the beginning. And we started a year and a half before COVID. And, I had to make a decision too, which we can go into later, is just my dad used to have a business and he sold it when my parents got divorced. And he basically said, like, I think I still want you to work while you start this. I refinanced my condo. I put whatever money from my equity that I had from buying a condo during Hurricane Sandy when I was 24. So this is now I'm 29, 5 years later, into the business. And it wasn't a lot of money. And I started it with 2 chairs in a room and a 200 square foot room.
I know.
And mobile, so the overhead wasn't high.
Right.
I didn't want to move in with my parents. I didn't want to, I guess, have this. I was scared of not having any money.
Yeah.
And it's hard when people start things without money.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
It's not like I got an investor and had the flexibility of doing things that I feel like really snowball and help businesses start becoming big right away. It was such a grind.
Scary.
It's very scary.
It's very scary. And I feel like entrepreneurs, like, they don't get a lot of, recognition, or maybe they do, but it is very scary. Like, even just like the production of this like podcast, honestly, it's like you're just going on a whim. You're going on like with something that is like in your heart, and like just like yourself, like I am like not a quitter. I hate quitting. I hate giving up. So I'm like, I know that this has been such a project that's been like in my heart for such a long time, and there's so much purpose and impact behind it that it's like, no matter, like, yes, I'm thinking about everything that I'm investing into this, but it's like, it's gonna work. I'm like, no matter what, it's gonna work. So I love to hear that also from your end, because I can just imagine how scary it could have been.
Yeah, it was really scary, and I just knew that I'm a hard worker.
Right.
And I would learn things on the way. Like, I didn't know how to do the books. I didn't know how to do social media, but the times that so my life totally changed. Like, my friends asked me to dinner or family functions.
You were 29 when you started it? Okay.
So those are just little things that I do. I guess it's hard missing time with people. So I'm trying to do a better job now. Yeah. But I was learning how to reconcile on QuickBooks, how to do paid per click ads on Google. Nothing even with social media, but we didn't even have Canva then.
Oh my God.
I know. So it's just creating photos myself to post and not understanding strategy, but then reading about it. Like, I've done so much reading.
Yeah, you have to do your own research for everything.
I feel like the best way to really get to the next level when you have nothing is to understand and do every little part of the business.
Yeah, of the business, correct.
Because if anyone leaves, but not only that, like, you can fine tune it. You can make it be like, hey, when I do give it to someone, I know exactly what I need to give
and what to expect back.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
I do find that really important too. So I guess like my next question for you was like, what were some of the biggest challenges? And I feel like, time apart from the people that you loved, maybe being misunderstood from other people who didn't understand the entrepreneurship, your journey, at the time.
Right.
So what were some of like other maybe bigger challenges? And also, with the equity and the business and
right. My partners did change. So I did at the time, because I had no money, I did ask nurses to actually be partners that started with me. And a few of my other friends, they helped me with the website and then social media again, because we didn't have money to pay, like, you didn't pay anyone.
They were like helping you on the fly, like, because they're your friend.
But then COVID hit and everyone said, like, I don't believe that this is going to get through this time.
Wow.
Because we did shut down. And my friends had full-time jobs. So they were like, we can't do what you're expecting us at this point to do.
Yeah.
But the biggest challenge, back to the question, would be going into the business full time, or I was scared.
Yeah. Did you start full time completely, or you still worked full time and then, IV Elements was like your part time?
After leaving the orthopedic surgeon, I did 6 weeks later start working at a methadone clinic in Harlem. I picked that job because it was 6:30 to 1:30.
Okay.
The hours were Monday through Friday, and great hours because then I did all the IVs after like around 2:30 until 9 at night.
Wow.
I would go from Harlem to drive to North Jersey, do all the mobiles. So I just
grinded it out.
Some business mentors now were like, you need to go into the business full time.
Okay.
And I didn't feel comfortable to do that.
How long did you do that for? So
it's a silver lining because then COVID happened and we had to shut down. But thank God too, because then I was able to help out in the hospitals. I still worked at the clinic during COVID, obviously, which was a crazy time for all healthcare workers, but it was a source of income.
Right.
A lot of people lost their jobs or got paid less.
Yeah.
So that was really great. But I decided to go into the business full time once I was hiring full-time nurses.
Okay.
I knew that, we're starting to have enough services. People are starting to come to IV Elements with intention, referring people. And I then felt, after seeing that, I was like, wait, what am I doing? Working.
They're also probably like relying on you. So you need to be like that overhead, for them too.
There was a lot of push and pull. You have to list. A business is like a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think after having it a few months, you really need to listen and reflect. It will tell you what it wants.
Love that.
But you have to be willing to listen.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like if clients came to, or customers came to IV Elements because I mailed people cards in the mail and it came to their house. But I see another IV company with a beautiful Instagram. And I'm like, wait, we should have a beautiful Instagram.
Yeah.
But 90% of our customers come from mail.
Yeah.
Why would I listen? Why would I do Instagram?
Right.
I feel like competition or other companies is loud noise. It tells me 90% of my customers come from mail.
Right.
So I should keep doing mail. And I think just that you shouldn't force, just like when you are in a relationship, you shouldn't force anyone being someone.
I love that.
You shouldn't force the business to be anything but like showing you where it needs to be watered or listened to and give feedback and nurture.
I love that. I love that. I love that, actually. That's a good one.
Yeah. But I decided to go full time, like I said, when the nurses were full time, and I was like, this is silly. I was a hospitalist part time then, so I started decreasing the amount of time that I was working, and then the minute I went full time, it slapped me on the face.
Oh my God!
It was like the business was like, this is what should have happened a long time ago. Because I was able to just move things so much faster.
So it slapped you in the face in what way? In a good way or a negative way?
It could be both, because maybe I wasn't ready for the time and effort. Like you would think, oh, now I'm not working. I have more time for myself.
Yeah.
No, it just totally took it to another level. I had more time to see the problems.
Right.
The money maybe wasted as well. People that I was relying on that really weren't helping me. So it was hard in certain cases, but so good in others.
Yeah, right. I feel like being a really good entrepreneur is really problem solving, right? So I feel like once you went full time, you're like, ooh, this is all I have to really focus on my time on, so I can actually improve it. So I really do love that. And also, I did want to also know, was IV Elements functioning during COVID times, like the first wave, second wave?
Those are really good questions. So we did close 4 months after.
Okay.
And we couldn't pay some people thanks to getting the PPP loan. It did help us out a little bit. And we got some grants from Hudson County and from Asbury Park, because those are the two locations I had at the time. But yes, then we started going back, and high dose vitamin C was very popular at the time. It helps, decrease viruses, increase immunity at higher amounts than just normal cocktails that we might get. We do it for oxidation purposes, which kills things. So high dose vitamin C was really big then. And then the state or federal government did ask us to help with monoclonal antibodies.
Oh, wow. So the state asked you.
Yes. So they said anyone doing mobile services at the time.
That's interesting.
Because people weren't getting them enough in the ER. We did offer them in people's homes. So the nurses did bring a AED machine and the proper medication. So we did provide mobile monoclonal antibodies.
Wow, that's amazing. That's very interesting. Okay. So, well, that's good to know, because I feel like after COVID hit, after the first and second wave, people, at least in this area, got so much more proactive. And I feel like there's so many resources nowadays on social media and stuff like that, or anywhere, literally at our hands, right? So I feel like you were ahead of the game, girl, like for real. Because we don't have a lot of IV, like during that time, we didn't have a lot of IV drip lounges around this area. Maybe in New York, but definitely you hear more about it in California, West Coast, Arizona, all these other places. So I feel like you were literally right ahead of the game.
Life is crazy. I was one of the first IV places in New Jersey in 2018. And I did lose a really close family member during COVID. So there was really big sorrow. However, it excelled my business. Starting it before COVID, I was already ahead. Like you did say, even some franchises having these SEO ratings on Google, referrals, client base, returning clients. And we are starting to get a name for ourselves. And it just helps so much.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's go a little bit in regards to, so I know that you came from a conventional medicine background. So for those that are not a little bit more familiar with what holistic health is, what is holistic health for you, and how does that differ from conventional medicine, which we're kind of used to? I have a background in medicine also. I'm a nurse, registered nurse. I worked in the hospital. So have you. So how does holistic health differ from conventional medicine?
I want to describe holistic health.
Okay.
Which encompasses the mind, body, emotion, and spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. So some people slap on holistic to everything. For IV Elements or myself, I think it looks at the person. It's sort of looking at emotional or history, attainable healthcare without technique, I think.
Okay.
It shouldn't be as technical.
Okay.
It should be a little more basic.
Okay.
I'm saying that in regards to like if someone has depression or anxiety without giving them an antidepressant.
Correct.
Or anti-anxiety medication, ask them questions, put them in therapy.
Correct. Yeah.
See if they're getting proper sleep. So taking it back to the basics, I think that's holistic.
Correct. 100%.
Or physical. Like, obviously, are you walking 10,000 steps a day? Are you working? Are you going outside? Opposed to, I'm going to give you this weight loss medication.
Correct. Yeah.
Or spiritual. A lot of it is journaling, religion, meditation. And I don't think that people take enough time to take time.
Take time for that. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's creating space. I think that's holistic health.
Yeah.
And especially in this area, we're so go, go, go. But I think a lot of people are. So that is holistic health to me. And I definitely come from a conventional background. I think because I said my parents are engineers and we're very science people. I don't think that takes away from
for sure.
Even holistic medicine, because it's becoming, there's a lot of evidence-based articles now. And for example, we do mistletoe therapy and Johns Hopkins just passed phase 1 clinical trials with mistletoe therapy. So there is science in holistic health.
Oh yeah, 100% for sure.
But let's say hypertension as an example. Someone has high blood pressure. Other than maybe saying, is it white coat syndrome? You have it, or we see consistent high blood pressure. I don't think doctors are then asking questions into why.
Correct.
They're just being,
they're just giving a prescription.
Hypertensive medication. Yeah. So we have to ask, like, what's your diet? Are you eating processed foods? Are you making sure that you are having physical activity? Obviously, nutrition is such a big thing. Sleeping well. I think that people have high blood pressure.
I feel like sleep and stress is a big one.
Stress, yes.
My producer's looking at us like, he said he slept 2 hours last night. So I'm like, but yes, I feel like sleep and stress are a big one. I feel like I'm 33 now. So I feel like I've actually learned so much. Like, I actually truly love sleep now. And I like see how it's such an investment to my health. And it's like, it's so important. So I feel like 100% stress and sleep are a big one.
Balance is hard because it comes from all different aspects, right? You can't have balance just physically, because then it offsets your mental. So holistic health is that balance. It's restoring balance, and I definitely believe in that. And not that I take away from certain conventional modalities, of course, especially with infections, different types of cancer, of course. Like, IV Elements is an integrative company. Like, we don't want to be like, all conventional medicine, but
there's a place for it. 100%.
Exactly.
Okay. So what are some ways that our listeners and our viewers can really start implementing and having a better quality of life? Like, what are some of these holistic practices that you're kind of talking about that they can start literally today?
Oh, wow. Okay.
That can really improve their health.
Well, going to bed without the phone next to your head in another room would great start. Waking up, Mel Robbins said this, like, do not press snooze. So waking up, having a full 8 ounces of water in the morning before having any sort of caffeine, maybe decrease even the amount of caffeine intake. Nourishing your body in the morning. I feel like people like skip out on meals. It is so important to have a high protein diet. Even grounding, you can put your bare feet on grass. You want to listen to the earth and feel it as a human.
Like, we all know that feeling, like when you go to the beach and you take off your shoes and your toes are just in the sand. There's a reason why, like, your frequency kind of changes. So that is grounding.
Right. I think it's listening to your body too. I think there's so much on social media that especially what I see is people that work out every day, Pilates, this, but for people that are so, like go type A all the way, working every single day. Like, you need to be like, okay, there should be an Instagram of a person being like, okay, I laid around all day. Like, and it's okay. But listening to your body. I also, food wise, nutrition is huge. Don't eat anything that's not in the fridge. So that was big for me, that change. Anything on the shelves has something that keeps it on the shelves, which is not good for you.
That's interesting. Yes, I love that aspect.
People a long time ago obviously went to a butcher and a farm, which are produce, right? They say you should only shop on the outside hallways of a food store, nothing in the middle. So like no crackers, even.
Because they just all have preservatives and bad ingredients.
Right. Dairy also is huge. We talk about it all the time at IV Elements. And like gluten was big. I grew up very fast-paced eating, especially as an athlete, other than just going fast food. But we would make these meals in like 10 minutes. And that's not great either.
Like the quick, you got to cook your food a little bit.
A little bit. So I think nutrition is really important. The phone is big, screen time. Not looking at, like, being on your laptop super late. Going for 10,000 steps is more of heart health than just like physical, like physique. But it is so important. That is on our watches, phones. I advise steps all the time.
Love that.
And being with, I think, good people. Like,
yes,
if you know
that's important for sure.
If you get angry or you don't feel right when you're with someone, you just need to stop seeing them.
I love that you mentioned that, because it's so true. I feel like when you start listening to your body, it does start speaking to you. It does kind of like pulls and nudges and I feel like that like relationships, it's just so important for your overall health also.
Right. Yeah. This, like you said, stress. It's really big.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess back to like the business aspect. So when scaling your business, were there any mindset shifts that you had to kind of pivot, so that you can actually grow and get to the next level in your business?
Yes, a bunch. Again, I started this thing and I didn't really know the type of animal it would be. But having a business, Alex Hormozi said this.
I love
really
Alex Hormozi.
I'm not quoting it perfectly, but he said having a business is like running a marathon while you're out of shape, not knowing when the finish line is.
Oh man.
But you need to
That's a good quote.
You need to get in shape while you're running it, with never knowing when there's a finish line.
Yeah. Or if it's going to work.
Or if you're ever going to finish it, or it's going to work. But you have to keep remembering why you started the run, why you started the marathon.
Yes, I love that.
So I think that has been something I had to constantly reflect why I decided in that moment I was going to move forward being with Ivy Elements and having this business after Chris left. So that was really helpful for me to move forward, because it's like I picked this and I'm putting all my time into it and there's nothing else I want to do. So we're going to keep doing this. And when I say keep doing it, like I do want it to blossom. But for it to blossom, I was like, I want this, if anyone were to ask me, I want this to be the biggest story. I want it to be hard. I want to slay the biggest dragon.
So you were okay with that.
I want to be the winning troop again in the biggest battle. And I wanted the biggest story. And I think winners are defined by saying like what they did was something bad, and losers say what happened to them when something bad happens.
Yeah.
So like winners make of the situation, and losers say
they become a victim.
A victim.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that's always been my attitude in life, and it's helped me as an entrepreneur. Is that I never stay as a victim. I'm always like, okay, this happened, great. Like I learned from it. It was a mistake,
right?
And
you have to take it like that. Yeah.
And wow, okay, I won't do that again. But I hope everyone else learns from it too. So that's kind of how I scaled the business. I was like, hey, this seems really great for it. I feel that I'm getting some people saying that this is maybe the next step. I don't have the closest business mentor, but it just felt right? Like I said, I listened to the business and what needed to happen. And that based on organization, what's lacking, what you need to do more. Yeah. And I decided to just do it. If something's really hard, people don't want to do it. Something's hard. People don't want to do it. Something's hard. Well, I changed that mindset. It was like, people don't want to do it as a motivation. It should be hard.
Yes.
Hard is good.
I love that. Yes.
Like change your mindset.
You have
to always flip it to the positive.
You do. And do you feel like 6 years later, sometimes you still have to really check in with yourself on these moments? Or do you feel like you're kind of, it's already engraved in you and like
it's ingrained in me. It's just at this point, do I want to keep doing that? Because being 36 now, starting it, I was 29. Again, I'm trying to have more time with friends and family and myself, but you're going to be missing things and times like if you're out every Friday, like posting a picture of a drink or like somewhere every weekend, you're not running a successful business. Yes. And it's hard to keep doing that. Yeah. So I do have to tell myself why I did it. Yeah. And even family, it's like, don't take the phone call, put down the phone. Yeah. I have been better with that. But I have had times where I had to even talk with how hard it is to tell someone you love. Like, I don't feel like you're respecting me. Yeah. And you're making it hard for me.
Yeah.
But
I've been there.
But I'm making it so easy for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't you want me to be successful?
Yeah. Yeah. I think having those really hard conversations with the people that you love the most, and in hope that they can really, if they don't see your vision, but at least respect your vision and respect your hustle, and just really know that not, the greatest people are really so misunderstood, and really get around people who actually do really align with your mindset and align with, or maybe more ahead of you, and they're going to tell you probably the same thing in their own journey and stuff like that. So it's so, I feel like that would be really helpful, for sure. But I love that. It's also important. I feel like, you're 36, I'm 33. So it comes a time in our lives where we have to kind of check in with ourselves. I actually learned this through therapy also. Just check in with yourself, like what's important to me now, because maybe like what was important to you at 29 kind of shifted a little bit, right at 36. So having those like check-ins with yourself of what is important to you, and also checking in like why you actually started, like what is the vision for IB Elements.
Going back 15. To the vision and what I thought in the beginning is so important for a brand too.
100%. Yeah.
When it even comes to SOPs, it comes to training staff, not just what you see on the website or social media, but the feel of the whole company.
100%.
And I think scaling really did happen when I went into the business full time, but when I also decided to organize the business and delegate. So when I delegated more, I had more time to work on other things that nurtured the business.
Yes. Delegation is like so key. So we're both Capricorns, for anyone who doesn't know this. And it's really hard for Capricorns to be told what to do and also like give control to other people, because we kind of feel like we can do it like the best.
Right. It's just like, get out of the way. I got this.
But if you want to scale, like you really have to trust in your recruiting process, right? And trust in the person in front of you. Like trust on those measures that you're keeping up with.
Right. It's helpful.
That help with performance.
If anyone doesn't come from an athletic background, not saying you have to be an athlete or used to be a preceptor, but I think just having that background, I always say to team, like I really don't even love taking credit by myself because I wouldn't have gotten here without my team.
For sure.
Obviously no I in team. So even when it comes to taking pictures or talking about the business, I love to incorporate everyone.
Yeah.
And I don't like when people obviously, let's just say, have it better than someone else. Like I want it to be an equal, fair working environment, and we're all going towards the same mission. I think that's so important. And enthusiasm and education is so important. Teaching, I don't think enough leaders take the time to sit with people and really teach them and answer questions. They might push it off on someone else or like be like, hey, like you'll figure it out. No. Yeah. Tell them.
Yeah, you do have to teach. Yeah, like, for sure.
Educate them. Sit with them. Give them feedback. And constructive feedback is really important. I think my staff, I had to, when I hire someone, they have to be open to that. And I know that from the beginning. How are they going to grow and help me grow if they are defensive and not able to take feedback? And feedback is not, again, saying that they're doing the wrong thing. It's like, hey, this can not just be done better, but it can be better for the customer, you, and the company.
Yeah, I think just having I feel like you're doing such a good job at IB Elements with just providing a really good working culture, to be like company culture. And I feel like we all, for the most part, are all like on the same page of like, why are we actually here? Why are we actually doing this? I know I do. And I know that, whenever there is constructive criticism or feedback, it's for the greater cause of like the company. And overall, that's also going to help me and my passions and my, my vision for my life. And it's going to just help the team overall.
Right.
So I feel like when you have those conversations and those check-ins, like it's so helpful to have the vision and the mission of the company at the heart of everything, and then how that is going to play out for everyone's life, you know? So that's really helpful.
It's good to ask like how people think and feel also.
Yeah.
I think there's enough check-ins. It's just kind of going through the motions month in, month out. So I think it's so important just to talk, like everyone's human. It is a small business. So things do impair other people, like directly. It's not such a big corporation where it doesn't. A lot of people aren't affected. So we all have to be on the boat together. We can't leave one person behind.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. And I love that about IB Elements. Okay. So we are getting to a little bit to the end of our conversation. So I am going to be asking all of my guests, what are some self-care practices or daily routines that you do that help you thrive in your life and essentially your business? And how does that help you show up as, you know, the better version of yourself? What are some non-negotiables that you do?
Non-negotiables. It's energy.
Okay.
There can't be, if there's something going on.
You're right.
I can't, it's not right now. So it's not like I need to wake up and go to the gym right away or eat something right away, because that's not what's most important. I think it's really important to see what's top priority.
Okay. Love that.
I do what's top priority always. And there should be more of me top priority. The business is always top priority. But I do get really good sleep. I obviously journal or try to take out all of how I felt during the day out, so nothing impairs my sleep.
Yeah.
I stopped drinking. Okay. I think alcohol is a really big thing. I love that. When I stopped drinking, I lost weight and I just felt so much better and more clear.
Yeah.
I was able to wake up and do work and not. It takes a few days at this point.
Yeah.
To
100%.
Yeah. But I don't need a drink at dinner and I don't need a drink during the week or to have fun. I know how to have fun naturally. Like so
for sure.
I just, and be happy. But I think just also if someone's not having a good day either, what can you do to tell them like, hey, let's turn the energy. So energy is really number one. Like I was saying before, nutrition's really big. I now pack my meals and I cook everything. I don't go out to eat anymore. I don't know what's in my food. I really stopped going to restaurants. I used to love going to top restaurants and traveling to New York City, and now I'm just in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah.
Life is like IB Elements and just learning about holistic health has really changed around my life as well.
Yeah.
I have a dog, which is really helpful.
Oh my God, yes, we have to mention her.
Aria, Game of Thrones, yes.
She's a
But it's nice having comfort, and if someone doesn't have an animal, then it's nice that I come home and she's just so happy.
I love Aria.
So that's why I said the energy is so important to me. Like I really do love working out still, but the steps thing is just really important and getting outside.
Yeah, just moving.
And nourishing my body. Okay. So
I love that. Big. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So our last question is, what advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur who's maybe thinking of an idea, in the first beginning stages of launching something? What would be some really good, solid advice that you would give them? And was there any piece of advice that was passed down to you by either a mentor or someone that really helped you in your journey?
I wish I had more mentors or advice. But if I were to go back and think of the beginning, do everything yourself. Learn every crevice.
Yes.
I think that is something, if I were to reflect from the beginning. Like even I lost a bookkeeper this year. I went to a company that does it. I started doing the books.
Yeah.
So I know how to do payroll. Yeah. I know how to do the books.
Yeah.
I know how to post something on Instagram and reshare a story. Yeah.
She did create a birthday post for me not too long ago. I didn't think it was you, actually. I'm impressed.
Yeah, 6 years in, it happens. But it's at the beginning, I think so many people are like, oh, I need to have someone do this. Like, if you don't have money, you need to do everything.
Yeah.
You need to say no to people too. You have to be okay with saying no.
Yeah.
If you're ever somewhere and being like, I wish I was home working on my business.
Oh my God.
Then leave.
Oof, yes.
Then get up and go.
That feeling, yeah.
Because people are not going to understand.
Yeah.
You're going to lose friends and family, but then the people that are still there are going to be, even your friends are going to be your family.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're going to be alone. You're going to be late at night. You're not going to have regular hours.
Yeah.
If you are having regular hours, you're not going to make it. But
I think that's the realness and the rawness that you need to hear, and because
the most successful, I feel like, leaders or entrepreneurs or business owners, and even with myself, is I feel like people that have such a various amount of emotion are the most successful.
Are the most successful?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I feel like you need to have low lights before highlights.
Yeah.
You need to feel sorrow and pain to have happiness. And positivity, negativity, it's always opposite.
Yeah.
But the more you feel, and like I said, listen to your business and make mistakes and go through hard times, there will be an opposite to that side.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I love that you shared that, because it's almost like that. I don't know if you've heard of the saying, but make your mess your message. And it's those hard moments, those really painful moments that most people don't know about. Those are the ones that are going to be pushing you to get through the light and get through that. And those are the ones when you are in your good times, it's going to continue just pushing you forward.
Right.
It just makes the mission that much greater, I feel like. So,
and it's not saying that people who are non-emotional, but
right.
You have to feel everything.
Yeah.
You really have to take everything in. Because there's no way for you to expand, scale, understand. Like, that's the point of understanding and listening, is feeling.
Yeah.
So how do you know what's best for the business if you're not going to feel everything?
Yeah.
So that's, I would have to say that's best for any new entrepreneur. It's like, you need to have emotion and feeling
toward where you're creating,
and understand everything in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. I think that's pretty solid advice. Okay. So I think we're wrapping up now. Do you have anything else to say to our listeners, to our viewers? I do want people to go and follow you. So where can people find you or Ivy Elements?
Okay. Thank you.
I will be putting it in the show notes. So all the links in the show notes.
Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully any, new or entrepreneurs starting off, feel compelled.
Yeah.
And also can relate a little with, past and ups and downs. You can follow Ivy Elements at Ivy Elements Wellness. And I have a Instagram, Functional Feeling.
I love the functional feeling. I love that.
So yes, please follow me.
Thank you so much. Until next time, Rebecca, thank you for joining us in the Thrive Podcast.
Thank you so much, Jaleesa.